You are listening to Smart Women's Dating Podcast, episode number 12. Welcome to Smart Women's Dating Podcast. I am your host, certified life coach Lærke Nielsen, and I help smart, independent women attract the love they deeply desire without having to chase or settle. This podcast will give you the mindset tools and insights you need to finally crack the code to your love life. Are you ready? Then let's go! Are you wondering why you never get approached by guys when you go out? I mean, not just when you go to a bar or a club, but also when you, for instance, go to a cafe or for a walk in the park with a friend and she gets all the attention. And do you have a pattern of always being the one who takes the first initiative with men, but feel awkward about how to attract someone's attention and make them take the initiative? This episode is about how to attract the attention of a man that you want to connect with. It's about why you want to do this instead of just walk up in front of him and ask for his phone number. And it's about why it feels awkward and out of the comfort zone, and what is blocking you and how to get past that. Learning to elegantly attract the attention of a man is a skill, and it's not necessarily needed to create a relationship, but it can be very cool to have for the day you see someone that you really want to connect with. And it also builds your confidence as a woman, and it is super fun. Before we jump into it, I just want to remind you of my freebie, the free guide to access your feminine superpower. It's a PDF guide or workbook if you want. It's 27 pages and you get this for free when you sign up on the link in the show notes or on my website. And in this book you will find 5 powerful feminine energy shifts and some questions that will guide you into finding your own way and style in feminine energy. So go sign up for this and get some more inspiration to your love life. And my website is lærkethelovecoach.com, L-A-E-R-K-E. And you can also find me on Instagram. I'm also Lærke the Love Coach there, and there's a link in my profile where you also can sign up for this freebie. Okay, so attracting the attention of a man. Let's start by looking at why this is even something you want to bother thinking about. And you can think of this in several ways. The first one is if you want to operate from feminine energy, which you won't if you want to attract a man who himself is in his masculine energy and willing to make an effort, then you want to allow him to take the initiative in the beginning. And this means that he gets to initiate a conversation with you. But in order for him to do that, he needs to know that you are even interested. It's vulnerable to be the one who initiates the contact because it always comes with a risk of rejection. So you need to give him permission to approach you and also make him feel safe. Show him that you are open to connect and you're not going to reject him or push him away. And you give him permission by being warm and inviting. I'll get to that in a moment. The other way you can think of this is just ask yourself what kind of man you are looking for. Do you even want a man who doesn't have the guts to start a conversation with you, where you have to be the proactive part all the way from the beginning? If you listen to some of my past episodes, and especially episode number 6, you will know that I myself used to be in a very proactive energy and basically always took the first initiative in my past dating life. And that was all the way until my late 30s when I started learning about this. Then I decided that I didn't want to date men where I felt I was dragging them along, and I decided to only be open for a man who as a minimum has the courage to come and talk to me. However, I also decided to make it easy for him, so to signal to him that I was open to connect and that he could feel safe approaching me. I don't believe in religiously following principles and rules for human behavior, and there's always exceptions, and especially with human behavior. So it's not like you can never start a conversation with a man because then you are forever in your masculine energy. It doesn't work like that. It can still be him who invites you out, for instance. But even if you decide to start the conversation, or if you don't have any interest in attracting the attention of someone specific, you still want to be able to access this energy of being warm and inviting when you go out, because it just makes you more approachable for the people you talk to. And we might think that we are approachable from nature or by default, but actually it's not always the case. Like if you are living a busy life and you're deep in your thoughts about what to do next, solving a problem at work or planning a meeting tomorrow, and you're checking your phone and you're not really present in the moment, and maybe you also have this phase of deep concentration, seriousness, almost a bit closed off, without even noticing that yourself. This is normal for many of us, and myself included. Unless I make a conscious effort whenever I go out, I look like I'm deep in my mind and not present and not open to connect at all. And it's especially important to think of if you are not keen on online dating and you prefer meeting someone in person. I always recommend that you do both, simply because there are so many people in the apps, and there can also be a positive spillover between the two. So being a woman who gets invited out by someone you talk to in the app, that also helps you get into the energy of feeling attractive and showing up differently when you then go out. But how do you then do this? How do you get into this warm and inviting energy? Imagine you are out to some kind of social event or a private party with lots of people. This is a great opportunity for you to connect with someone that could turn out to be interesting. You want to start by getting into the present moment. So out of your head and into your body. Pull down your shoulders. Take a deep breath. Look around you. Notice who's there. Notice the sounds and notice the smells. The more you can engage your senses, the more you are getting into your body. And remind yourself that you are amazing. Remind yourself that you're a catch. And if you don't believe that, then you've got some inner work to do, because we all are, and you just have to find out what kind of catch you are and how you can access that feeling. And then think of the whole thing as a big fun experiment, because in a way, that's just what it is. You're trying out something new. It's fun. We're not talking about climbing ice-covered cliffs or orbiting the Earth in a small capsule. We're talking about being playful, having fun, not just to attract a man, but also to discover a new side of yourself. And then when you look around, try to make eye contact with a few. And if you see someone you find sympathetic, you keep the eye contact just a little bit longer than normally. If you can hold it for 3 seconds, that's really good. This can feel a bit out of the comfort zone, but it's very powerful. Don't ever underestimate the power of eye contact. And then send him a smile and look somewhere else. It's as simple as that. Now you've given him permission to approach you, and most men will instinctively get that. It's universal language. So if he is open to connect, and if he is someone who's curious and has the guts to start a conversation with you, he will do that. And once you have mastered that, you will get a boost in your confidence and feel incredibly empowered. You have, as a woman, so much more potential to attract a man than you think. You also want to think about your body language when you want to be approachable. So if you are talking to a group of people, for instance, try not to stand in a closed circle. Try not to have your back turned towards the open space, but lean in sideways, for instance. Be open to talk to others. Don't be locked in a small group the whole evening. Also, take a moment once in a while to not be in a group, so that if someone wants to talk to you but they don't like interrupting a conversation, they get a chance to connect with you then. Walk around and make eye contact and smile to people. This is something you can practice in everyday situations before you do it at a social event. And I highly recommend you try this out and practice on a regular basis. Make it a skill you master and that you can use whenever it serves you. Don't limit it to when you see someone that could be an interesting date. Don't only think of it in terms of who you are connecting with. It's not really about the man you are smiling to when you're practicing this. It's about you being a woman who knows she's attractive and knows how to catch the attention of a man. I challenge my clients to do this when we start working together, and for a lot of women it's difficult in the beginning because we need to get out of the comfort zone and we have a lot of thoughts about what it means when we smile at a stranger. You could have a thought like, I don't want to be this desperate woman flirting with all the men. And then I want to ask you, is smiling really flirting? just smiling at someone? And if that is flirting, then what is the problem? And is smiling really desperate? Being present and open to connect with someone, in what ways is that desperate? Another thought could be, he's going to think I want more than just talk, and then I invited him to think so. And I think it's deeply rooted in us as women because of the way we are socialized to think that we believe we have to be careful not being too inviting, because then a man will think we want more and that it's okay to go even further, and then we were tempting them, and so it's our fault. And this is where it's important to first of all hold on to the fact that you are doing nothing else than being open to connect by smiling. And then trust yourself in being able to set boundaries so that if someone gets the wrong message, you know how to confidently pull away. You are allowed to smile to a man without feeling guilty for whatever's going on in his mind. That is his responsibility. And most adult and emotionally healthy men will understand that a smile doesn't mean anything else than you being open to connect. You would also feel awkward about it because you fear rejection. So even if eye contact and smile is not explicitly you initiating contact, it still is a kind of contact initiation. And if he doesn't smile back or if he looks away, it could feel like a rejection, although we don't really know if it is. In that case, it's actually a good exercise for you to not let it mean anything at all. We don't know what's going on in his mind. Did he just get nervous? Or did he look away because he isn't open to connect? Did his phone just buzz? We don't know, right? For sure, you didn't do anything wrong. You are just a human smiling to another human. That's all. So the bonus of this is that you are not only practicing being present and open to connect, you're also discovering a new side of yourself. And this is a side you might not even know you had. Everyone can do this. It's not about having a perfect hair day or dressing up. It's the glimpse in your eyes. It's the confidence and the joy and the playfulness of this whole interaction. There is a huge potential in meeting men just around you once you wake up and get really present. Interesting single men are everywhere, but when you're busy checking your phone, they just pass you by. So, as I mentioned earlier, especially if you want to focus less on online dating, then getting into this warm and inviting vibe and attract the attention of men you want to meet out there is something you want to practice. And in order to practice this, I suggest a little challenge to you that I call the coffee shop challenge. And you can do this anywhere you want, anywhere where there's people, but the reason it's good to do it in a coffee shop is that this is a place where most people go for a break, and so the atmosphere is relaxed and people sit down and chat, or at least some do. And then there's another reason, and that is it usually smells of coffee. And noticing that and smelling that is a great way for you to connect with your senses. So you have a tool right in front of you to start doing that. So you go into the coffee shop and you order your coffee while getting into the present moment. Pull down your shoulders, notice who is around you, see the colors, smell the coffee, listen to the sounds. And then your challenge is to access the energy of being approachable and open to connect, and to make eye contact. Hold it and smile to at least one person. Remember, you are just enjoying your coffee, the moment, being you and living your life while taking a break. There's nothing odd about that. And then afterwards, one person is going to remember that a woman smiled at him at the coffee shop, and that made him feel flattered, energized, grateful, whatever he felt. You've lit up his day as well. I hope you feel inspired to try on this challenge and practice a new skill, and that you will have fun doing it. Remember, it's all just an experiment, and you get to play and have fun while discovering a new side of yourself. How cool is that? I'll be back in a week from now, so have fun and enjoy dating. If you like what you're hearing on this podcast and you want to get support from a coach on your love journey, I invite you to book a free consult call with me. You will find the link in the show notes. And also, don't forget to subscribe, and I would love it if you would rate and review this podcast, and then you'll also help other women find it.